So Outriders finally got another update, a very important one as a matter of fact. It seems that pretty much every class in the game got quite a number of buffs. Also, across the board, HP values have been increased on armor, and most important, we finally got the appreciation package. Is it too late? Well, it probably is for many of you guys, but we're gonna talk about it anyway because these are some free legendaries and there are some goodies in there as well, so let's jump right into it. By the way, for everybody who does like giveaways, we have a brand new one for the month of June, also in collaboration with Instant Gaming, so a huge shout out to them for actually helping me set this up. You can take part in this for any game you want from the list of games that they give you on that giveaway, so you can choose whatever you want to, and at the end of it I will announce the winner right here on this channel as well as via the email address provided. Again, all links are down below as well as in the pinned post, and a huge shout out to Instant Gaming for making this possible. Anyway, pop the champagne, ladies and gents, because it is finally here. The community appreciation package has finally arrived about 1.5 months after the game's release and after it's been promised, but it is finally here. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy free legendaries, so I will take it, especially since it seems that it's implemented in a pretty decent kind of way, but we will see in just a little bit. So the community appreciation package is here. Thank you for all of your support and encouragement since Outriders launched. We are always listening to the feedback and are still as committed to improving and enhancing your experience as ever, they mention in their latest tweet. So this is what you're going to get from the appreciation package. Not much has changed. So essentially you're getting a free legendary weapon, one of the 46 random god rolled legendary weapons that you have not obtained yet. I will discuss about that in just a little bit because we do have clarifications. We also get the frustration emote, which is a brand new one that unlocks because all of the frustration that you've been encountering, and finally they also give some titanium resources, and they also mentioned that a lot more updates and new content is coming in the future. Now, this isn't where it all stops, because we also get some pretty significant buffs, especially the one to HP values on armor seems to be pretty significant. Essentially, it seems that they have almost doubled HP values on armor, but we will discuss about that after we're done with the appreciation package. And we also have like full-on buffs to each specific class in the game. Now, I do want to start things off with the community appreciation package because there are some clarifications that the developers have posted right here on Reddit. So here is what you need to know. Your most experienced character will be granted a random god rolled legendary weapon which you have not previously obtained on any character. So if you've been struggling on that last piece, maybe you're looking for, like, I'm not sure, maybe one of those death shield shotguns, yeah, you're probably gonna get it this time around if it's like the only one that you didn't get yet. Now, if your inventory is full, please check your stash for the legendary weapon as it was before. If both of your inventory and stash are full, the legendary weapon will appear when you next free up an inventory space and restart the game. This is for everybody who, like me, just logged in the game and noticed that there's a lot of items that you forgot to delete the last time you played the game and whatnot. Now, if you have already previously found all weapons, this is pretty big, your character will be granted the rarest weapon for their specific class. And this is where it kinda becomes a little bit problematic, because from the clarification that they posted a bit later, it seems that the way they are basing their rarest weapon indicator right here is according to their own analytics. So they're pretty much looking at the analytics, what each of the classes gets in the game, and the one that, you know, these classes get the least is considered the rarest, so they will give you that specific weapon. This means it's not necessarily true that that rare weapon, the rarest weapon for your class, is also the best for your class, so just keep that in mind. It could very well be that Death Shield is not even the rarest of them all, it's just something that a lot of people got. Maybe a different weapon is a lot more rare for your class, but it might suck a lot more compared to that weapon, so just keep that in mind. And yeah, we also get that extra titanium based on your character's level. I would also say that for some reason my drop pod resources are pretty much maxed out again, though I'm pretty sure I did use quite a lot of these before I logged off. A new emote frustration is in the game as well, and you might want to restart your game before all of this appears. So yeah, let me know down below what weapon did you get from the appreciation package. So far I checked my game and honestly I don't really know which weapon I got, because I got a bunch of these from the previous restoration as well, and at this point I can't really tell the difference. Did I get another dash shield? Probably. Did I get some other items? I'm not really sure. Did I get something completely useless for my class and build? I'm not entirely sure either, because it doesn't make any sense because I haven't logged in a while, so maybe you're a little bit more versed in this than I am. But with that being said and done, let's talk about the balancing changes. This is where it's at, baby. These are pretty significant, some of them, so today's changes focus primarily on buffing underused skills and improving player survivability via armor rebalancing. This is only an initial first pass based on the mass player data that we're seeing in our analytics. And yeah, they also mentioned the fact that they're looking into the legendary drop distribution. They might come in with a buff to legendary drops, especially for like the other content outside of CT15, since yeah, you don't really get legendaries outside of that. And even more important is the fact that they're also looking at the timed expeditions, since many of them are too heavily DPS focused, especially right now, and it kind of removes a lot of the fun in the game if you want to experiment with different other types of builds. But let's talk about the balance changes right here, starting with the health on armor. So the health available on armor pieces has been increased greatly and rebalanced. It is now possible to effectively double character HP by using certain gear pieces. Previously, investing into improving your health was not providing enough value gain. This change will make it easier to build a greater health pool and survive for longer. And this sounds interesting. If my effective value in the previous update was about 19,000 with some HP buffs from the skill trees, it should be closer to 30,000 maybe after these get implemented, though I have logged in after the maintenance and I haven't noticed any change, at least not noticeable enough, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm not entirely sure, but I guess we will see that in a few more hours. Now, Devastator, Pyromancer, Technomancer all got a bunch of changes. Again, these are to some of the underutilized skills that you would normally not use because the meta right now is a little bit different. So for the Devastator, we got a bunch of buffs to Reflect Bullet and to Impale. So Reflect Bullet base damage has been increased by 250%. So this buff will help players better deal with smaller mobs, but efficiently killing elites will still require the use of other skills as well, they mention right here. And the base damage dealt by the Bullet Acceleration mod has also been further increased by 330%. Impale is also pretty important here. The HP regen granted by the Impale has been increased by 50%, all the way up to 0.03 base regen at level 1, they mention. And finally, the range on the Vlad's Grass mod has been increased by 100% from previously 25%. Now, Pyromancer didn't get any buffs to its existing meta, for example, if you're playing with the Akari set, but it did get some pretty interesting ones for the Phaser Beam and for the Volcanic Armor. So Phaser Beam base damage has been increased by 100%, and they also buffed up how much it benefits from status powers. So this change effectively means that the damage from Phaser Beam may well be doubled and then some, according to the note, though the effectiveness of this improvement still depends on the character's status power attribute. So you will now want to stack a lot of status power if you want to like have a Phaser Beam build. It might just work, but we will have to test it. Finally, the Volcanic Armor mod damage reduction has been increased to 65% for both anomaly and physical damage, previously from 50%. Technomancer comes in with a bunch of interesting changes because it got the most of them all. So for example, they made Tools of Destruction a little bit better, so the RPG summoned by this ability has had its base damage increased by 66%. Also, the RPG summoned by this ability has had its fall off reduced / minimum range increased by 50%, so from 200 to 300, which I believe means that you can now shoot it at a much higher distance, which does sound really interesting. They even clarify that in a little bit. The base damage dealt by the Demolition Man mod has been increased by 65, previously from 35, and we also have a few for the Fixing Wave, Cold Snap, and the Freeze Turret. So Fixing Wave, the healing provided by this ability has been increased to 65%, up from 33, and Cold Snap got quite some nice changes. So the armor reduction dealt by the Frostbite mod has been increased by 100%. The base damage dealt by Ice Ice Baby mod has been increased by 300%, and these changes will allow players to have an extra go away mob skill and will combine well with the following freeze turret change, which is the duration of freeze turret has been increased to 30 units. So this should increase the turret's HP by 50% and prolong its life, so it will also stay for a lot longer in combat and freeze enemies, and you're gonna be able to like deal more damage against them, and they will be further debuffed to deal less damage against you. Finally, we have the ones for the Trickster with the borrowed time. The base damage dealt by the aggressive teleportation mod has been increased by 111%, so that's a pretty significant one. This needed a significant boost to make it more worthy of a legendary status. Hunt the Prey, the base damage dealt by the Backstabber mod has been increased by 100%. I still am not sure if you're gonna be incentivized to even use that mod to begin with, because there are just way better mods in there than the Backstabber, but yeah, I guess you can maybe play around with it in different situations. And finally, the Temporal Slice, the base damage dealt by the Strong Slice mod has been increased by 71%, and this actually does sound a little bit more interesting and a little bit more useful. Again, Strong Slice, I'm not entirely sure if you're using that or not in your build, but yeah, it got a pretty significant buff right there. So these are the changes pretty much with Outriders. Totally let me know down below. Do you like them? Would you like to see something else? What other gripes and grievances do you have with the game at this point, if assuming you're still playing it? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.